little video here celebrating it's my 1-year anniversary of getting top surgery. So if you're not interested in hearing about that kind of stuff, don't worry, you can move on. I wanted to say a little something here, Clem. I feel like I haven't posted about it very much since it happened. I was already like, oh, maybe I'll make a video talking about all the funny little things that happened during my surgery trip when I get back. And I had a whole bunch of complications in my recovery. And I was like, okay, I'll talk about that when it's finished. And then, it just kept happening for quite a few months. And then I just kind of ran out of steam. And I was talking about it along the way in that Jake Coon Let's Play I tried to do and then failed at. That's still on the back burner. The reason why is just it was a way bigger thing when I'm actually capable of. I underestimated how difficult it is to play the same game twice in the beta and final version, compare every single line of text to find every possible difference I could. I can't make any promises if it's still coming someday, but I'm still trying. I thought I may as well just say, yeah, hooray! I'm all fully recovered now. It's been a year and I'm doing real great. Again, I won't show any actual photos of it because, I don't want to make you guys uncomfortable or anything. But my scars from the initial surgery are all healed, and the ones from the additional complications are fully sealed up but haven't faded as much yet. I'm super happy with how it turned out, except that one side is a little bit bigger than the other, and sometimes I do get a bit dysphoric looking down at that and think, maybe it's more noticeable, but I've had feedback from both the doctors and friends and everything, so you can't tell at all when you're standing away from me. I can only tell because I'm looking directly downwards, so that's all good. And it's been really good for my mental health, massively good for it. They were saying before surgery, make sure to temper your expectations. It probably won't, instantly cure your dysphoria. And then it kind of almost 99% did. At least my dysphoria in with regards to my chest. Obviously the rest of me not going to be affected. But it was really bizarre, actually. I was really surprised. I was like, okay, I'm not going to get my hopes up. And then, yeah, I just completely lost any kind of, shame about people seeing me topless entirely as soon as the surgery was over. It took me days to even realise it had happened. I was like, okay, yeah, I've been to 3 checkups now, and not even once did I feel any kind of shyness about taking my top off when the doctors looked at all the bandages. And it had been so not on my mind that I didn't even notice. And that was just so uplifting and awesome. You can say that you doubt these feelings, maybe I'm not really trans, maybe I'm not really dysphoria, maybe I'm just deluding myself. And then, yeah, okay, I was definitely 100% correct about needing this surgery, wanting this surgery, because I've got nothing but positive results from this surgery, immediately. Surprisingly, insanely immediately. And even when the bandages are all off, I have nothing left. There's nothing left. Literally there's no mammary tissue left. And there is no bad feeling about it at all. And it's just great. So I'm putting in the obvious disclaimer here, but I'm not claiming that top surgery will do this for every trans person. Well, I was very extensively told that it's not very likely for this to happen, but I can tell you, it can potentially happen. Don't completely write it off like I did, there's no way it could be this good. It has to be in some way bad. You can still hope that you will get the perfect result. But just bear in mind, it's I got a 1% chance here, I guess. And in repayment for that, I had the bad luck of the whole thing that happened with the suitcase. So, easy come, easy go. I got totally used to doing all the follow-up appointments for the complications, several times a week, and it was fine, it was great, and I, fully comfortable with the upper half of my body now. And I've been chomping at the bit because they said, you have to wait 1 year until you're able to, have UV radiation on it. If I was to go topless or, shirt unbuttoned on the beach or something. This summer is when I can finally do that, if I decide I want to or not. And I've been actually really excited and hopeful for that. And I was feeling maybe I still wouldn't have enough confidence after the surgery. Maybe I wouldn't have enough confidence a year after the surgery. But I had enough confidence 3 days after the surgery. And I've just been bored waiting for it. So that's all the positive. I'd say the only negatives here is, for me personally, it hasn't helped as much as I wanted for, actually being able to pass as androgynous to oblivious cis people in the street. I still get constantly clocked as my birth sex. I think it's just because my general body shape is, obviously, I'm a fat-ass guy. I've got my thyroid problems. I've got curves in places I don't want curves. And it's kind of frustrating having to, like, dress overly masculine to compensate. Like, I'm trying to aim for androgynous. If I actually dressed androgynous, and people would just assume I'm a girl. And it's a little bit discouraging to be like, what can I possibly do to change this misconception? Like, I don't draw it on my Sona, but I have a bit of a mustache now, and I have, like, quite thick hair on my chin and neck. This is just due to a problem with hirsutism, which I have. It's, like, it's unrelated to my transition. But, like, I've got that. I dress mostly masculine. I've got literally no boobs. My gender clinic literally told me you don't need to have voice training, your voice sounds androgynous enough already. And yet people still make these assumptions. So I think it's probably just because, like, one, I'm stubborn and I won't change my haircut I like, even though nowadays it's associated with fucking turf bangs. Like, I was here before you. My hair is based on Team Galactic from Pokemon Platinum, and that stereotype did not exist until, like, the last 10 years, and I am not going to budge because now it's associated with, like, the opposite of trans people, which I am. Ugh. And also just, I'm generally a shy and anxious person, and I really hate how, when I'm having a panic attack, my voice goes, like, light and squeaky when I'm struggling to talk. So those are the two things, like, aside from just me having a curvy body build, probably that's what signals to people. Like, I often get people, like, being a little bit patronized, like, assuming, like, oh, this must be a cis woman who's, like, really self-conscious about having a bunch of hair, and I should tell you you're super, super feminine to make you feel better. And, like, I wish you'd asked first, because that's exactly the opposite of what's going on here. I like being a hairy bitch, and me being flat-chested is not a bug, it's a feature. But I've also found that, like, me having confidence in myself and me feeling myself, I look how I want to look, I look androgynous to me, has made a huge impact on my mental health. Me not being as bothered by that problem. Maybe someday there will be a day where I can afford, like, additional plastic surgery on my hips and stuff, and I will achieve the perfect, like, internet influencer, androgyny, beautiful person, whatever. I don't even really want that. But then maybe I'll get everybody in the world, like, recognizes me as my true gender and blah blah. Maybe if we educate the universe about pronouns existing, I don't really care. Like, I'm just happy being me. And I'm very glad to make a video like this about being happy. But I just want to make sure to mention this. Like, obviously it's not a cure-all for every problem in my life. There are additional things I'm working on in my transition going forward. It's just been a really uplifting, really wonderful experience to know, yeah, completely, one worry is off my back completely, and quite literally off my front. I got way better results than I could have ever possibly got my hopes up for. And I think it was worthwhile going through a slightly longer recovery than most people do for the sake of getting this great looking chest in the end. But if anyone out there is still interested, like, Bonford makes a funny video about random silly things that happened during their surgery and recovery and the way back home on the train with the evil suitcase from hell. If you're still interested in that, a whole year later after I said I was going to make it, just tell me here and I can totally do it now. Because it just kept getting delayed and delayed because I didn't know when my recovery was actually going to end. Oh wait, I didn't even say that at any point in the video. Oh yeah, it ended late November or early December. It took that long until the final one of the seroma hole things to close up. So yeah, that's the extent of the bad luck I got from that one single circumstance with pulling a too heavy suitcase can cause that much of an increase to your recovery. And I'll once again give a warning to everyone in the audience for that, but also, like, it's not going to be like a super world anything. I didn't feel pain all that time. It stopped hurting about, like, the first month and a half or 2 months in. It was just really boring waiting for it to stop. And there was a lot of restrictions I had to go under for my recovery, like, oh, you can only bathe a certain amount of times a week to keep the wound really dry. And I had problems with, like, acne on my back, and it mildly aggravated that a bit. Miscellaneous blah like that. So I don't want to warn anyone off, or anyone else who's also considering getting this surgery someday. Just, yeah, do all the research, listen to all the things the doctors tell you. There may or may not be complications, they're usually not as bad as you imagine they would be. And if they are, you will get the help you need. I am massively grateful to all of the surgeons and follow-up care and wound nurses and my wonderful friends who helped me with getting to and from the hospital and looking after me for the first few weeks. And I just want to make a video full of positivity about this. Yay! I don't know how to end this. Bye!